Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Let's Build a DIY 3D printer enclosure out of an old fridge. For those of you who are just tuning in now, my name is Drew, and I like just all things nerd. I'm a nerd. I like 3D printing, I like comic books and action figures, and I've always been into art, and lately I've been getting really into 3D printing, casting and creating molds, and I want to start creating things. Eventually this channel is going to get back to the thing I created to do, which is showcase 3D printing and some of the techniques I use for that. But as you can tell, I'm rebuilding my studio. We're in the thick of it right now. We're rounding a corner, and the studio is almost good to go. So I'm really excited to show you guys that. That's going to be like, I'm jacked. It's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome. The reason I haven't started printing yet is because I don't have a proper solution for ventilation in this new space. I came up with a kind of design for this like mini fridge enclosure thing. So this week, we did a lot more. I knew that I wanted to attach fans to it. So I'm going to need something to create some suction that's going to take that smell outside somehow. So I got a fan. So in order to get the fan on there, we had to get into the back of the machine, because that's where I wanted to put the fan. We were hoping that we'd just be able to take most of the mechanical stuff out kind of in one pull. We peeled the back plate off and realized that the whole fridge was full of like a polystyrene. Like I'm guessing they like a spray foam or something like that, an expanding foam. So yeah, all the piping to carry the coolant throughout the fridge was interlocked right in there. Like there was nothing you could do about it. So we tried to chip out as much as we could just to see what we were working with. But yeah, my friend Andrew came over and we got rid of that. But yeah, it was clear that it wasn't gonna be able to just pull out. I wanted to get the refrigeration unit out of the back. It was really just 4 bolts holding this thing on there. So I just had to get those bolts off. I didn't want any lines to break because I know they don't use Freon anymore, but I don't know what's in those lines. So I just didn't want to get it on myself. I imagine it's, you know, you could probably get like freezer burn or something from it, you know? So I got it outside and I grabbed an old dumbbell and used that as kind of a makeshift anvil. And I hammered the lines flat so that it would interrupt the flow of coolant. And then I used a pair of needle nose pliers to just cut those lines, and then I crimped them over and hammered them flat on the dumbbell again. And in doing so, I was able to stop any kind of from getting out of those lines. I don't know, boom. I drilled a hole in the back. Why does this look so disgusting? Is it just me or does this camera footage look just like birth? I don't know. Anyways, I got an internal power supply, so everything can be powered from within the fridge. I just want one cord coming out of this thing at the end of the day. Like I don't want it to be, you know, I don't know, one cord would be nice. So yeah, I did that. So yeah, the following day I went down to our local makerspace, Maker North. My friends Joe and Riley were kind enough to cut out some plexiglass for me. They got these sheets cut. Here's the piece I cut out of the door, and I had them cut it an inch bigger all the way around. Got a couple screw holes, they pre-drilled them for me. So this is just gonna go right on the front. There's my window, bam. So yeah, I also had them cut a smaller piece. I went to Home Depot and I got like collars and hosing and stuff like that I guess you'd use for a dryer or I don't know, some other ventilation system. So I got those and had them cut me this smaller piece that I tried to super glue it on, but it didn't want to go. I guess it was too cold outside. It just kept falling off. So then I just took some 3M tape, sealed it up really good, flipped it over and just caulked the hell out of it. Got her all caulked up. And yeah, there was more polystyrene in the back of the machine where I wanted to affix the fan. So after I had the collar built and assembled like onto the fan and everything like that, I established where the fan was on my printer, where it was gonna be. And that's where I wanted to have my fan. That way it's blowing out of the printer, into the fan, outside, gone. I don't wanna mess with it too much because the plastic is actually like way thinner than I thought it was gonna be. I actually cut through it, this thing, like just a drywall knife or whatever. It's not sharp, but it cut right through it like nothing. So I used the grid off the front of the fan to establish how big the hole had to be or whatever, and cut the hole using my trusty hobby knife from our local hobby shop, Games Nook 2 on Queen. And that's as far as I got, really. Aside from that, I think we're done for episode 2. Thank you so much for joining me. So yeah, next time you come, we'll have a lot more done on the studio, a lot more done on the enclosure itself. Subscribe if you liked this video or didn't.